recording. So, hello, dear souls. Welcome to our next amazing call of today, which is the 6th of February. And how amazing we are. Happy New Year, by the way. On the 3rd of February, it was the Chinese New Year. So we are in the year of the snake. and and I am excited about it. Like my friends, I have some friends who consider this new year their new year. So on the 3rd, I got this like, hello, happy new year. And I was like, what? So and then they sent me the whole 2025 description of the new year of the Chinese New Year. And it's of course not a coincidence that it actually kind of very beautifully um, fits into what we have been talking about, what everybody is going and is talking about. Um, and it's all, everything is talking about the same thing, obviously. So we are very pleased to hear that everything is aligning very well. And in today's call, what I wanted and kind of planned for you, the first thing, there was a few things that I was inspired to do. Well, the first thing is I want to share a few examples of very amazing manifestations. So it's kind of giving you more inspiration of what's possible. And I want to, yeah, just make you more inspired. That's what I wanted to do first. I want to share a little bit about my amazing Italian weekend that I just came home on Sunday evening. And then I also wanted to, oh yeah, I wanted to bring you through a process of creation to remind you how you can like go a little bit deeper with what we have been talking about in a more practical way. Because I'm not going to go into details right now, so we're going to wait a little bit. So with that said, I'm just going to start maybe sharing a little bit about the weekend until maybe others will show up as well. So as you know, I manifested this Italian weekend, free Italian weekend, in a very easy way. I really started to finally get into this flow of just putting it out there and then just moving on and feeling like consistently in this very high vibe of everything I desire is already here, and it's starting to pay off finally in a consistent way. And this Italian thing was one of these manifestations, because just basically 3 or 4 days before this happened, I said to myself, it would be so nice to go to Italy for a long weekend or a couple of days. And basically, as you know, because I shared this last time, I was able to do this in a such a beautiful way. And the fun about this is that it's not that you say it and then you go and you pay it and you do it, but when it just comes into your lap, it's just you are invited. Basically, universe says, "There you go," and it was fun. We had an amazing time, and we discovered. We were to, by the way, Simela, you said about Alberobello. We went to Alberobello, and it was really, really beautiful. And then what? Oh, and it was like such a beautiful synchronicity while I was there. We went up to the main road of Alberobello, which is basically a very beautiful town, which is a World Heritage town or village, I would say. It's better village, which has a very specific architecture of these wide rounded houses with these very cone type of techos. And it's a very specific architecture. I think is the only like place in the world that they were doing this, and they have a whole village of this specific architecture, and they have a lot of souvenir shops and restaurants and sorts of things. And when we were coming down to a small street where there were no tourists and there was only one shop, um, one souvenir shop, and we could hear the music from far when we were coming down the street. Now imagine like all the main streets are full of tourists and souvenir shops, and then we chose after that one where there was no one basically, and we could hear the music. So first we didn't know where the music comes from, and then we reached this small souvenir shop. So basically, there's no people on this street. We didn't meet anyone, any other people than ourselves. And when we arrived, we realized that it's a little radio, like a little speaker that was in front of the souvenir shop. It's a very tiny shop. So they had at the entrance, the magnets and the little things that they sell, but we didn't see anyone coming out, going in, like nothing, right? So the music was on. So we decided to take a few pictures, and we were there for like, let's say maybe 2 minutes. And all of a sudden in the radio, I hear Agnese, Dolce Agnese. Now, of course, that's obviously because I said to the guys, "Did you hear?" Because it was a song, right? And I said to the guys, "Did you hear?" So like, what? So like, they just said Agnese Dolce Agnese. It's like, what that? It's like Agnese is my name in Italian. So basically, they said Agnes, sweet Agnes, and I was like, really? And I'm like, yeah, like how cool that is. Now, it's just so I'm always laughing at these kind of synchronicities because when I came home, right, I checked the song. It was an Italian song, and I checked the song, and it's a 3 minutes 40 seconds long song, so it's a quite long song. And it's only one time that he says Agnese Dolce Agnese. It's not that it was a repetitive thing, right? So it was exactly in the right moment that I went exactly when I was there, that exactly was they were singing. So are these little, like, which I find so cute, manifestations, kind of saying like whoever, my angels or whoever, whatever we assign the story that we're telling, like where is this coming from, saying hello, we see you. So I find it so cute. That was one of the things that happened at the weekend in Italy. So I was saying hi, Claire. I was just sharing my Italian adventure this weekend. It was cool. So yeah, how are you, ladies? Before I go on with giving you a lot of more examples of what's possible, um, and how others are bringing in amazing things in their realities. Now, I am part of two. Once I shared with you guys, there is this guy, Tom Karen, of Be Something Wonderful YouTube channel. He talks very loud and very fast, and he has this flip chart, and he uses a lot of biblical, what is it called?
Quotations?
Yes, and like the metaphysical significance of that, or yeah. So, and it's interesting. You either like it or you don't like him, or like him or you don't like him. Um, and I used to listen to him, and he has a Facebook group. So people are following him, and then they asking, in their Facebook group, there are a lot of people posting, asking, blah blah blah. So anyway, I'm sometimes, I see this popping up on my feed, and there is a lady who started following his teachings like a year ago, and I'm reading her post. She posts like once a week, so I see her post popping up, and I really like the way she's applying, or she started to apply the law, or the laws of the spiritual laws of creation, and I really love, and I wanted to bring you, because now that she is really getting into this idea, into having more and more confidence of what we also were talking about a lot. So that's why I wanted to bring this in, on top of how exactly she's changing her reality, but she's changing very big things, you know. So I really, really love this, and I wanted to bring this to you. For example, one of the biggest, let's say, wins that she had in changing her reality. Now, what Tom Karen is always explaining, and I also explained to you in the trainings we did a few weeks ago, that everything is in potential. So whatever you desire is already in potential. So it's a possibility. And the more you anchor on it with your focus, with your feelings, with your thoughts, with your imagination, you making that potential, which is a frequency, you bringing it into the material, like it materializes into this reality, but already exists, right? So you are just you moving into that frequency because you are aligning with that frequency. So this is how we manifest. So she has two kids, two sons, and one of them is an autistic boy, and he used to be very aggressive and very like, let's say, the it's not the nice, kind, quiet type of autistic boy, but the very aggressive, very loud, very in a like kind of no social skills, and so she, as a mother, as a young mother, she used to have a lot of problems, a lot of pain, a lot of struggle in the family because he like the boy is already right now, I think 15, 16, and yeah, 17, and then he has also a boy at 7. So it was very difficult with the brother as well, and the whole family was struggling a lot. So and then, of course, she realized that she can change this reality into something that she prefers, right? That's what the law is teaching, that you are telling a story of your boy being this way, so there is no chance that he can be anything else but the story you're telling. So you're looking at the 3D reality and you're saying, my boy is very aggressive, my boy is autistic, it's very difficult with him, we have a lot of problems with him. So he only can be that. You are creating that version of him. So one day she realized, like, oh my God, like while I'm keeping this awareness of him, he cannot be anything else. So she consciously and deliberately changed the story. She started to telling the story of, I have an amazing boy. He's so kind. He's so nice. We having so much fun together. He's so loving. He's able to show his love, and he's so nice and compassionate, and whatever she wanted to create. So she started to tell the story. She assumed that this is their reality. And she was telling this inside herself. She was feeling this excitement of, and it's not even excitement, is this warmth, right? It's a warmth that she was feeling inside of her, like a peaceful family. We are such a loving, peaceful family. The opposite of what was going on. And she said she stuck to that story inside her mind, assuming that this is her reality. And she said that for the first 2 months, she didn't see any change. So it was very difficult to keep up the story because basically the opposite was happening, right? So the boy was still very aggressive. He was not learning, very bad marks, or so on, so on. But she said around the second, like after 2 months, she started seeing little changes in his behavior. But she was keeping up the story. So no matter what people were asking, like, how is, John? She was like, oh, he's such an amazing boy, such a loving boy, blah, blah, blah. So she was keeping up the story. She said around the third month, she was seeing real changes in the boy. And now we are 8 months since she changed the story. And she's like, guys, it's an absolutely, completely different boy. He is a loving, amazing, funny, good. Like he's absolutely good at school. He's bringing amazing marks at home. He has a lot of like social skills. It's like he is a changed boy. And everybody's asking like, how the heck? Like, what happened? Like, what did you do? Because the teachers are like, everybody's so shocked of what a big difference. And she says like, our family is perfect now. Like absolutely what I imagined, what I assumed, what I was telling myself, it's exactly how now our family looks like. So she was sharing this story on in this group, and she shared a few other stories as well, but like she started to have a lot of stories because now, oh, the other story, very, very good story, again, so powerful, her own story. She said her little boy was having an earache, and they were in the bed, and he was keep crying and crying and crying, and she said no in herself, like, I don't accept this reality. Like my boy is, she's like, she reminded herself that she has a choice. And but first, she's so good, she said, first I bought into this reality, and because I bought into this reality, I gave her like this syrup or something, because I think he had earache and headache or something. So there was like combo or something. So she said, first I gave him this syrup, but he was continuing to cry and continuing saying that he's in pain. So then like all of a sudden she said, I realized that I have a choice of not accepting this reality, and then I can choose a different reality. That reminds me of Renate's cat as well, right? I'm just wanting to keep telling you this, that you always have a choice at every moment. So it's kind of reminding that you can say no to the reality that you have, and change it, and create a different one. Now, she said, and that moment I realized I'm not accepting this reality. So she said, I closed my eyes and I imagined, like I asked myself, Gemma, what do you want? And she said to herself, I want my boy to sleep peacefully, I want to see him sleeping peacefully. So she said, I closed my eyes. So we were cuddled in bed together, right? So with the son, the 7 years old son, they are cuddled in bed. And then she said, and the boy is crying, 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 right? So she closed her eyes and she said, I imagined him peacefully sleeping. And then I allowed myself to feel that joy and that peace myself, that he's fine. And she said, I could just feel like, oh, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. He's fine. He's perfect. He's sleeping. She said, you won't believe, but like I was maybe with 2 minutes, my eyes were closed. I was imagining this. I was assuming this. I was feeling the gratitude is like, and then he was all of a sudden he was like, boom, off, like off. He went in deep sleep from crying, 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 boom, deep sleep. And she was in the post, she was like, I couldn't believe it. Like it was so freaking fast, so fast that I couldn't believe that I created this. And then there was another story with an, I think it was, no, it was an insurance story that she said, I refuse this. Like she asked for something and they gave her some offer or quotation about like 1,000 pounds, and she said, fuck no. And she's like, no, this, like, I don't accept this, that there must be a better version. And then she again closed her eyes, and then she said, my perfect version is going to appear soon, or something like that, right? Like whatever, she assumed something, she declared something. And then she got an idea, she called the person, and blah blah blah. Long story short, in 2 days she got, instead of 1,000, she got 30 pounds offer for the same thing And then they called her back. Sorry, we created, like it was a mistake. We did a mistake. It's not 30, it's actually 10 pounds. 10 pounds 50 for what it was before, a 1,000 from someone else. So, and I really loved her. Like I've been following her stories, and how also she's evolving, getting super confident, and keep saying what we've been, doing here, saying no, like I don't accept this reality. I'm choosing this reality. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you, in case that it becomes something that you go there first, like instead of being something that you forget, is to be something that when you realize that you are seeing something that you don't like, to realize that you can change that. And yes, sometimes, as we said many times before, it can be like so fast that you're like, what? But sometimes you have to be consistent. And there was another story that I remember now. I think it wasn't from her, it's from someone else, who had a very, very bad mother-in-law, like very critical, and they had a horrible relationship. And then she was always afraid and anxious every time, like they were any type of communication, because it was horrible. She was saying it's a horrible person. So when she learned about the law, and she learned that she can change anything in her reality, she started assuming that. And then, guys, it's super, like, assuming means that you put out there one sentence that you assume that's your reality. And she just said, me and my mother-in-law, we have an absolutely awesome relationship. So that's what she assumed. And then she said, this is my reality right now. It's an absolutely awesome relationship. And then she allowed herself to feel the gratitude of how amazing it is to have such an amazing person as your mother-in-law. And then she persisted that they have an amazing relationship. And she started talking about this. Like people were asking, so how about, how people are, right? Your friends, like when you first say, oh, my mother-in-law is horrible. Next time you see them, they ask you, like, tell me about your mother-in-law, like what other crazy stuff did she do? Because people love doing that, and then you go, oh yeah, oh my God, don't ask me, she's like, and so you go to recreate and keep telling the same story. So she decided to tell a different story. So when her friends wanted a little bit more gossip about the crazy stuff that your mother-in-law did, she said, I changed my story. That reminds me, by the way, of Simela's questions. I remember, Simela, you asked me once, like, if someone asked me about my business, should I tell the reality or should I just lie, And then
Yeah.
and that's your, it's like you are not lying, you are creating your reality deliberately, because the story you are seeing right now and you are not satisfied, it's the story that, it's the reality created by the story you were telling a month ago, let's say. So
Mm-hmm.
now if you want a different reality, you have to say a different story.
Mm-hmm.
So she decided to tell the story, my mother-in-law has changed. Like, we're having an amazing relationship. I don't know what the heck happened. And basically, I again don't remember I'm very bad with times, but I know it was a few weeks that she had to insist. And she said, I couldn't see any change for weeks. I couldn't see any change for weeks, but I said, this is a law. So I'm going to persist that we have an amazing relationship, no matter what she's doing, no matter if I see any proof of that, I don't care. And then again, sometimes a few weeks later, she started to see incremental changes. And she said, first, she just said, she said something that she usually doesn't say. And it was like, what? And then that started to escalate. And then basically, she became a different person. She's like, we are best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I thought that for me, I love these kind of stories because it's just always telling you about of the power of you being the creator. So if you want to change any type of relationship now, because I brought you a lot of stories about relationships, if you have anyone in your life that you are, yeah, that you don't have the relationship with that person that you truly desire, by the way, that reminds me, for example, of Renate. Renate, if you want to improve your relationship, because you always say, because he's always so negative, he cannot be anything else but negative because you keep saying he's negative. So you have to start changing the story that you are assuming that this is the way he is, and start saying the story of how you want him to be. So, and the story of how your relationship you want it to be. And this really fucking works. Like, I know because I remember another story that I helped someone else doing this with their own marriage, and they got back together. And I remember the guy said, oh, you also know the story because I share with you before, like sometimes before, a few weeks ago, um, that they were at the point of divorcing. Like their marriage was really, really fucking done, and they had a son in common, and he said, I don't want to leave this marriage because I love him so much, and I also love her, and I know I've done a lot of mistakes, and it's, it's fucked up now, come our relationship now, and we don't really talk anymore, and blah blah blah. In a I think it was not 3 months altogether, but kind of 2 months and a half, 3 months that I was coaching him. And then I remember he said, Agnes, like you won't believe it, but our marriage is even better than when we first started.
Mm.
That when we were so happy and so in love, and I thought that was the peak of our relationship. It's like it is fucking better now because we went through so much, and now that we really were able to come very like close and beyond all these ups and downs, and now we kind of created something that is absolutely amazing. So I believe that every marriage can be saved, every relationship, every love relationship, or any other type of relationship, family or boss or otherwise, can change if you decide that has changed. And you decide that this is fucking amazing. That is just the best boss you've ever seen, Renate. Because I know I'm just keep seeing you I'm keep bringing examples, right? So instead of saying my boss is an idiot, and he is so, I know maybe you're not saying this, I'm just, making up stories, but like he is so demanding, right? Or he's so strict, or he's just, having all this fucking, stuff that he's coming up with that he wants and he expects, and I don't want, and I don't want a boss, and fuck him, and I love the one before more. Like this, if you are saying, you look at your 3D, and then you tell the story of what you are seeing, then you're going to just keep that story, you're going to keep that experience, and then create more of that experience. So you can just basically stop and say, no, like this is not my preferred boss, uh boss, and whatever you are, like yeah, it's you're not an employee, but like this boss thingy relationship, I don't like this, it's not making me happy. So then you come up with like, I have an amazing relationship with my boss. It's like beyond amazing. He's an absolutely amazing person. He's so good. He gives me so much freedom. He trusts me like absolutely 100%. Our relationship, I never really even yeah. Good, David. I'm coming to you as well. So it's like he's just he's just an amazing person, and he basically everything you want, everything you would love to have as an experience with him, you start telling the story. You assume he's already like that, and you keep persisting in that he's amazing in your head. You can imagine that he's amazing. You can imagine him saying things to you that you would really love. Now, we are going to the next level because, as you know, your reality is a projection, right? It's a projection of your mind. So that's why you're changing it in your mind first. So then you project a different version of your reality or the person. So in order for you to be able to do that even more easier, you have to first give to yourself, to yourself first, than expecting it from your boss, for example. I'm going to go and give you an example. Now I'm going to stay with Renate's story. So maybe you, Renate, want your boss to give you full free like hand, or however you say that. You know what I mean. So full free authority. You do whatever you want to do. He doesn't care. He trusts you. He adores you. That's preferably, I would say, my boss adores me. Like that would be something that I would say all the time. So let's say like he truly adores me. Like I can do whatever I want. He adores me no matter what. So until he's able to adore you, which is a conclusion, right? It's your creation. First, you give it to yourself. Like you have to give yourself anything and everything you want out there. You give it to yourself fully first. Now, how do you do that? You do it in your mind. You do it in your imagination. Right? So let's say you want to feel so free around your boss, so like a boss that you imagine him being so funny. You imagine him being saying to you, "Oh, Renate, I love you. Like I really love working with you. Such an amazing person." So you see yourself and you give that to yourself in your imagination, and then because you give it to yourself in your imagination, you're going to feel that what you want to feel, you're going to feel before it happens, because it cannot happen unless you feel it before. So you want to feel that giddiness, that bubbliness inside of you by basically laughing inside of you, saying like, this is such a fun image or such a fun action, a fun scene. And then you play with this in your mind, and then you feel this satisfaction before and without, important, without your expectation, right? That's why, because you persist in you knowing that your boss is the way you want it to be, and you persist in that no matter if he is doing what you imagine or not, whether he's picking up on your creation or not, or when, because the question is really when is he going to pick up on that. It's not if he's going to pick up, it's when. But you don't care when, because you persist, because you know the law says you create your reality. So while you persist in your creation, the 3D is going to match up your creation, because it's a law, it has to happen if you persist in your creation. And then you persist in your emotions, and you persist in the scenes in your head. But you have to give it yourself first. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Can
Yes.
you explain? I mean, I have a question. When you
Yes.
say you have to give it to yourself first, is that like saying it to yourself, like, I am so amazing and my boss loves to work with me?
No, giving it to yourself first means that, let's say you want to, like, we're going to
Let's
go with
stick with
David.
that example. Let's stick with this example.
Yeah, we're going to stick with David's example. He says to me, let's do it with money. Let's improve my relationship with money. Okay, so we're going to do with money. So I'm going to ask David, first question is, what do you want? Okay, the first question is, David, tell me, what do you want? Can you talk? Because I want real examples here. I can make it up, of course, but let's see the real thing.
Hi guys.
Hi, hi.
Yes.
So what do you want?
I want more than enough money to know, o sea, that a recurring revenue that comes relatively passive, and I can live anywhere in the world. So
How
it's like
much?
an online business, we could
How
say.
much? Like how much is the money? Like what does it mean for you that I have more than enough? I'm like, because these are words, but I want concrete things. Like how does that look like in your life?
$5,000 per month, for instance, is a lot now, but with 2,000, I wouldn't be worried, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Like it doesn't
Mhm.
matter because
No,
I told
5,000,
you
let's say
there is no
5,000,
difference between 2,000,
5,000.
10,000, 1 million. But you have to pick one thing that it feels to you like that would be awesome to start with, okay? Because of course you can always change and we're always going
Yeah.
to evolve, but you have to be something that you're like, that would be awesome to start with. So that's the idea for that is that the more believable is for you, the less resistance you have, obviously.
5,000, let's say.
5,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So tell me about this 5,000, the way you wanted to give it, like, so in order for the 5,000 to appear in your reality, in your 3D reality, which is a conclusion, a projection of
Mhm.
you have to first give it to yourself in imagination. So how do you give it to yourself in imagination? Because the next question would have been, why do you want the 5,000? Okay, why do you want the 5,000?
Yeah, to leave my job immediately and yeah, start traveling with Leonie. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't care where but I
Okay,
would
good. Okay.
around the world,
How
let's
would
say.
that make you feel? Like you have 5,000. Tell me about
Yeah.
how that is going to make you feel.
Yeah, fantastic. 5,000 per month. They are coming. I'm totally free. I'm
Exactly.
starting
I
a
love that.
new life. Yeah.
Okay, now the way you're going to give it to yourself is that you close your eyes,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then imagine your phone, right? Imagine that you have your phone in your hand,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And then you open your bank account, which is easy because you can imagine you put in the PIN
Mm-hmm.
code. So see putting in your PIN code, you open the main window, the dashboard of the app. Okay, and I
Mm-hmm.
want you to see there whatever you want to see. Now, you may have this thing going on for 2-3 months, so you might have accumulated money there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so you see, let's say when you enter, you see 12,000, for example,
Mm-hmm.
12,768.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you scroll a little bit up, so you see transactions,
Mm-hmm.
and then you click on like incoming transactions,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you see there 5,000 January 5th, and then you scroll a little bit up, 5,000 5th of December, and then you scroll a little bit up, 5,000 5th of November. So basically, what you see right now, it's creating your reality. So you are imagining, and I want you to really allow yourself to feel that
Mm-hmm.
this is it. Like this is it. Oh my God, this is amazing, right? So it's working. It's there. I can see it, and I feels amazing. Feels fantastic. What you just said, right? I feel fantastic. It's there, right? So it's there. You're allowing yourself to feel that, and
Mm-hmm.
you want to even expand. You want to bring Leonie in your imagination in and hear what she tells you. Hear something that says, like, this is awesome. Well, we fucking did it. Or you fucking did it. In your voice,
Mm-hmm.
like feel her hugging you, feel her kissing you, feel the satisfaction, feel the
Mm-hmm.
joy,
Mm-hmm.
and
The
say,
dance of
I'm
history.
so fucking happy with my finances.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm just so happy with my finances.
Mhm.
They're just happening the way that I imagined. It's
Mhm.
just happening, and it's so cool. And then you are done.
Yeah.
Is the
So
creation part.
it's also the feeling that it's so easy now to raise money, to get money. So it's like a complete chapter in my life, like as if, yeah, I graduated. Yeah, I don't have to worry about money anymore. It's
Mhm.
coming. It's a stream of wealth to my life. Yeah, it's done. This is this liberating feeling and aspect about it.
Right. So this is an assumption. Like assumption is it's fucking done. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like I don't know how this happened. I don't know when this happened. And it's not my business. It's me creating it. Like I created it. And as you, as a human being, your job as being God having a human experience, and God is all that is. So basically, your job as a human is saying what, like through you, God is going to experience anything that is like that. That's why there is no limitation, because it's you having free will. And that's when we all finally understand that you are not doing anything, you are giving preferences, because everything already exists. So the moment you understand that God is basically took on a human body as a coat to experience itself into a unique experience that it's created by your free will. That's why, right? You got free will. So basically you can choose to say, I want to be a homeless. And that's absolutely fine, because then God is going to experience being a homeless through you. But in the same way, you can say, I am a multimillionaire, and then God experiences you, or it hits itself through you as a multimillionaire, because all experience exists and all experience is the same. Your free will, as David, will give this light, this energy, this God, a picture, right? It's going to give a light. It's going to give it a unique experience, as David Gonzalo's life is going to be an experience of God through you having unlimited opportunities and power. So basically, when you understand that you can choose whatever you want to choose, and there is no limitation unless the limitation that you believe that you have. So let's say your father said, we cannot, like money is difficult. And you said, okay, I accept this. And then you accept this. And then you say money is difficult until you create money is difficult. And now you look at it and you don't like it. So then you say, I don't like this experience. I will choose money is easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the moment you decide that money is difficult and money is easy, it's exactly two basically truth. And you, as David, as an experience, you can choose which one do you want to experience, this one or that one. None of this is better or worse. It's just a truth. But it becomes truth the moment you accept it. And your free will stands in which one do you want to be your truth. So that one might have been your father truth, but he didn't know he can have another choice. He can have a different choice, that he can change his mind and say, fuck this, I don't like this experience. So like, I don't want to think this thought anymore. I don't want to, I'm going to change my mind. And then you know you can change your mind, right? So you basically say, yeah, I accepted this as being my truth, because there was a moment you did not have any opinion about money, until it came a moment and you heard it from your environment and you accepted it and you said, okay, I accept this to be my truth as well. But now you are at the point where you can say, I just don't like this truth anymore. So when I have free will as God, as all that is, to experience anything I desire, and I can choose which I want to experience, to have a good life or I have a normal life, I have a bad life, I have a poor life, I have a happy life, I have a, whatever life you want to have, there is no better or good. It's your choice. It's your unique creation.
Mhm.
You pick and choose. It's like a buffet when we talk about it. So when let's your father said, eat broccolis because it's good for you, because their father and parents said to them, you have to eat broccoli because it's good for you. So he also hates broccolis, but he believed he needs to eat broccoli because it's good for you. And then because he said to you, you fucking hate broccolis, but you're eating them because they said to you, you have to eat because it's good for you. And now you got to a point, you said, but I don't fucking like broccolis. Like I don't want to eat any more broccolis. And basically you have a fucking big buffet of everything you ever wanted, from mango to strawberries, and you know your preferences. So our journey is to choose what you actually prefer, and then to realize that you were eating broccolis because you believed you have to eat broccolis, but you don't like broccolis. So you can say, no, I don't want broccolis anymore. Like, Father, you can eat your broccolis. I don't care about broccolis. I want mango. And then that's why you are here. Your job is to choose your preference as a human, as a God having a human experience, as God having human experience. And so God can express itself through your uniqueness. So you can be David who eats mango with strawberries on the beach while he's having a mojito. That exact experience is unique to you. So God is going to experience through you the experience of having strawberry in one hand, mango in other, and your straw while you are right. That one exact experience is unique to you, because nobody is doing this exactly in that place, exactly like you, exactly that same way. Do you understand? It's you choosing what you want, what you prefer. So our journey to come to this manifestation thing is to realize that you picked up on some things that you don't prefer, so you can stop and say, I don't like this. I'm going to change my mind. This is what I want. So I'm going to start saying what I want. I'm going to start saying, I'm so happy with my finances. I so love this. Like, my life is perfect. Like, someone, for example, stops you, like a friend you've now not seen for a long time. What people do, I'm going to go back to the story of Simela. So what people do, right? They ask you, so how are you? How is your job? Like, how are you doing? How are you? What's up with life? Haven't seen you for 1,000 years. And what you start saying, oh, fuck, I hate my job. I know, like it's like it's not what I want, but nothing is really showing up. I cannot see nothing really moving. I got some ideas, but they are not really working out. I'm really trying. Now, this is exactly what you're going to create. You're going to create trying. You are going to create nothing is really moving and working out. You're going to create more shit at your workplace because you just said so. Instead, it's a very good point that I also want to make right here, again to Simela, because I just remembered the other day and I was like, I need to tell her to realize that sometimes and oftentimes we don't realize what we do and how we create waiting and time, like by pushing our desires in the future with the words we are saying. And it feels like it's present, but it's not. For example, you're saying, I'm getting better and better. Like, that's creating, you keeping yourself in a process, right? So I remember that it's in your bathroom, right? You are not becoming. So this present, what is it called? The present continuous tense, right? Like I am becoming, I am going to, I will. Like forget about that. Like bringing it in here, right now, as if it was your reality right now. So, for example, using present tense simple, like I love my life. I love my job. So I love my finances. My life is perfect. Everything works out the way I want. So when you meet your friend, you don't complain about all the things that you don't like. So you perpetuate more of that. You change the story. First of all, because he doesn't fucking know about you and your life anyway. So you start saying what I just said. All is amazing. Like I just found my power and things are working out for me. Like things are working out faster than ever before. Like I'm so happy with my finances. I'm so happy with everything that's showing up in my life. I'm just so grateful every day. I wake up and I'm like, fuck, is this my life? With Leo, like we're just planning our next trip. Like last year, before we were to Galapagos, then we went to I don't know where you were, I don't remember now. And then we just came back from Austria, and then we're planning to go here. We already putting together the budget, like so we know exactly how much money we want. So you can think about this, right? So you say 5,000, we need 4,000, 5,000. So you actually start in your head seeing that, yes, so I get that, and then we bought that, and then we went there, and this is how much is it. So instead of just having dreams and like wishful thinking, no, you go really like, this is fucking happening. Like you start packing, you know what I mean? Like I just remembered another example of a very similar story. So just making sure that you are not using present continuous, like I am, it's going to, will. No, it's now, it's happy, I'm loving it, I'm so grateful, I'm so happy that. These kind of sentences.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ahmed.
Right, this is true it's so good question. It's true for all of us, right? So I'm already happy with my finances. I'm already making, like there's more. I'm so happy. Another thing that you can say, oh, I so love being able to like pay for others or invite my friends, or take my son, my family, my wife, my mother to that, to a long weekend to Lisbon, or like whatever, or my best friend. Like what an amazing, sometimes doing it for others or imagining it for others is easier than to yourself, depending where you are. So I'm just thinking too about Claire, for example. So maybe Claire, you can imagine, for example, you can imagine creating money to take your best friend to a long weekend to wherever you want to go. So it's maybe more difficult for you to imagine for yourself, but it's easier for you to imagine that you are inviting your friend. And then you imagine yourself saying, oh, I don't know, just wanted to come up with Marie, I like, would you like to come? Like, it would be so fun to go to this, bus trip, or I've just seen on the internet, it just popped up, and you imagine yourself going with your friend, and you imagining having so much fun, and like having ice cream there or cocktails or whatever you want, or buying a magnet which says Amsterdam. I don't know, like whatever you want, wherever you want to go. So you allow yourself to be satiated in this experience and that you see your friend's face when you say to her, like, I pay, like I want you to invite you, and seeing her face of like lighting up and saying, but what? And it's like, no, it's like, yeah. And it's like, well, I don't know, I mean. And he's like, yeah, I would love so much, like allow me, because it makes me so happy that I can do this for us. So you really allow yourself to go into the scene. So you see her face, you hear her words coming out of her mouth saying, how did you do that? Like, where did you have the money from? And then you say, I just manifested it. You know, whatever, however it was, like it just came, or I just won it, right? I basically just attracted it, out of nowhere. This guy who paid, I only seen him once. So, you know, it can come out of nowhere. It can just be anything. Like you go to a shop and then there is a competition at Carrefour, and then you just have a scratch card and they bomb and you win two, long weekend for two people, all inclusive. I know a lot of people who want these kind of things, so I know that it's possible. So, but you have to play with it. You have to allow yourself. You have to immerse yourself in this experience. Basically, give it to yourself first. Okay? Yes, Simela.
I have been reading a book lately, and there are some very nice exercises. It's a book about money, and there are some very nice exercises. And I realized one thing. Well, there's this one exercise where you imagine like a sum of money, a pile of money on your table, and then you have a look at your bank account or your bank statements, extracts, and you see another amount, and you keep like imagining this, and you really feel into this amount, and you feel you imagine an amount you're comfortable with, and then you repeat this every day. So funny enough, every day the amount you imagine is getting a bit bigger because you feel more comfortable with this amount. And I think this is something very important, which I just realized. You know, when I say, oh, I imagine I have 1 million euros on my bank account, then I feel like, really, I don't feel comfortable with it, you know? But when I feel like, well, okay, I have 50,000 on my bank account, okay, that's a start. That feels like, oh, yeah, I can do that. So I think this is very important. The minute you want to manifest something, have that awareness of it, because I think you have to grow into this feeling. You cannot go from 0 to 100.
Absolutely. But that's exactly like the most, like it has to be absolutely believable for you. So that's why if you start with something like 2,000 or 3,000, it doesn't matter. It's your reality. Like nobody's coming and telling you, well, I don't think that's not enough, like it's you. And then you can be like, let's say you imagine 1,000, and 1,000 feels like, yeah, whatever. It feels like 10 euros for you. And so it's not a big thing. Of course, if it's not a big thing, you have no resistance. You absolutely, and you have no, like, no question. It's like, I'm telling you that tomorrow you're going to have ham and eggs for breakfast, and you're like, duh. So if it's that, because it only can be in your reality something that is you already have inside, that you already feel that way inside, that it's normal for you. So the repetition really is about normalizing it. That's all the games are about it, all the imagination, all you spending it in your imagination, you seeing it when you are scrolling it. Everything you see in your imagination is normalizing the feeling of it when you see it. So when basically you are so like the having 50,000 or 1,000 or a million for you feels so normal that you have no even questions, like, of course, like, I don't see it in my bank account, but I don't fucking care seeing it in my bank account. I look at my bank account and it says 50 euros. I don't care because I fucking feel like a millionaire. Now, the universe has to match you up. Like that's the law.
He brings a very nice example, and I love that because it just made it so clear. when you look up at the sky and you say, oh, the sky is blue today, look at that, you know? And then you can also say, oh, look at that, I have 50,000 euros on my bank account. It's exactly the same thing. It is just normal.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't it be normal, you know? You say the sky is blue in a normal way, and you can also say I have 50,000 euros on my bank account. But you put so much tension onto this money thing that it really blocks every manifestation.
We do because that's what we learned, right? So because
Yeah.
they didn't put anything on you when you were looking at the stars. It was your, your mother and your teachers, and nobody was telling you, well, you actually, you're not allowed to look at the sky for more than 5 minutes because you're going to get blind. So, or something like that, something crazy like that, because basically the money related, truth are exactly as insane as that. Like you can't look for more than 5 minutes the sky, or because something bad will happen, and then everybody would be super scared and worried and would just walk around like crazy people, nobody looking up, because they would be so afraid, because that's what they were conditioned into. That's why we are conditioned into this, but it's not true. And it's true, let's say, as a fact, because you believed it. So of course now it materialized, and now you look at it and say, but it's true. And it's like, yeah, it's true because you said it's true. That's why we go back to the mind, because it's always started with the mind. So you go back to the mind and you change there. You say, it's not true. My truth is that it comes out of nowhere. It falls into my lap. I open my, this Gemma was also saying, I started to have this experience that I'm putting my hands in my pocket and money is there, but I don't remember to putting it there. Or I look in my purse and I don't remember that I put that money in the purse, or that it's in my bag. I take the bag, I was 80 pounds in. I don't remember where that 80 pounds came out. She said in the last post that like she got like 10 from 10 places money outside of her wage in the last week.
Mm-hmm.
And she started a year ago with applying the law, this assumption that it's coming, it's here, it's mine, it's done, it's coming out of nowhere. And then she was able to practice this to a place where it's normal for her.
Yeah, it also, it's a bit like rising your thermostat, when you see a person who is wealthy, he just assumes he's wealthy. That's it, it's just it. I have a friend, he's a millionaire, and he says, you can put me any place on the world. In 6 months, I will have 1 million. And I was always wondering, how the heck is he doing that? Now I'm understanding it. Now, because it's just a fact for him. It's normal. It's just his normal.
Yeah.
He just believes it, so it manifests. It's just normal for him. He doesn't doubt about it. He doesn't think, oh, this is difficult. Oh, how am I going to do it? No, he just believes this is my reality.
Yeah. That reminds me that I'm going to share with you guys. We're finishing the call today. Very, very amazing call. I'm going to share one video with you, which actually I found it very, very powerful. A little bit talks about what we talked about, but goes even deeper with that, from Neville Goddard, and I saved it. It's in my playlist on YouTube, and I remember now that I want to share with you. It's so good. It actually talks about these things, and especially talks about the assumption, like how not to, like, we believe that we have to monitor our thoughts and our beliefs and our words, and then it has to like always be there and always keep doing and affirming. And it's like, no, like that doesn't have to do with that at all. Because the moment you assume it, then when you assume you are that person that you want to be, then your thoughts start aligning with it, your beliefs, your actions start automatically aligning with it. So it's not you wanting to align, it's you assume, and then that as a manifestation of your assumption starts flowing from you with the millionaire, right? So you keep telling you I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm like, that doesn't, it's not going to take you anywhere. But assuming you already are, and then allowing your thoughts to align with that assumption of you start thinking like him, for example, or you, because the millionaire Simela is super relaxed. It doesn't have the thoughts of like what I'm going to do tomorrow, where I'm going to pay this or that, or she's like whatever. So it's really coming to that mindset of whatever. So all our things that, like, really I want to share with you, because he goes into, it was for me a big aha moment when I listened, and he said, just assume. Like, don't try to change your mind. Don't try to do all these things so much effort. Just assume. Assume it's already that. You already are that. And because it's true, you already are that, everything is going to start aligning with that, including your thoughts, including the way you start thinking. And I'm going to finish with one affirmation that for me, Jesus got yesterday. I don't know where I found this, but all of a sudden, and I didn't find it, it came to me, which is even better, because I had made an assumption before, and I just had this thought coming to me, which was so powerful that I felt it in my whole body. And it was this: I love the responsibility that I have now as a wealthy person. And I love the responsibility of being wealthy. And this is so interesting, because many of us are really like, have no idea, like we are so afraid because we have some beliefs about the responsibility that are coming when you're going to be a millionaire, and then all the things that are going to, because you're going to have problem, which is not true, but life goes on. Like, you're going to have different type of problems, right? So I'm putting it in quotes, different type of problems, which means how I'm going to invest, in what I'm going to invest. I need a financial advisor. I need to find the right, flats, houses to buy. So I need a good agent who's going to come with me and advise me in which one, how, well, which country, how this is going to, like, I need to then rent it out. Like all of a sudden, now you are like, how the heck I'm going to pay my bills? And then all of a sudden, the millionaire version of you, it's thinking about other type of things, but it's also thinking about things and finding contacts and making sure that this money is in a good place. And so one more example that it came to me, I don't know where I read this, but it was about, it was also the same thing, same group. She said there was a woman who decided that she's going to win the lottery. So she said, like, there is no version B. Like, I am a millionaire. Like, there is no version B. Like, I already know I am a billionaire. It's going to happen. So I know. So she started to take steps, which is so crazy, because this is exactly what the universe, like, oh my, she already knows she's a millionaire. So she's taking the steps before it happens. So she said, I started to like contact all the people that, like, financial advisors. I started to look up in what I want to invest. And then it was like, I know like which agent I want to work with, what kind of things, like what kind of, thing what I want to buy, what kind of building, what I want to buy, what kind of business, what I want to buy. So it basically, she said, like, I already have all the people lining up. So I know exactly where to move when money is here. And well, she won, like, obviously, because it's a fucking law. Like, she prepared, like she said, I know, like, when you know something because you assumed it and then there's no like, yeah, well, first let me win and then I will. You are not aligned if this is the way you're thinking, because then again we go back to like reflection, the mirror. First, the mirror showed me that I'm a millionaire, and then I'm going to behave like one, and I'm going to smile, I'm going to be happy. No, fucking no. You have to start celebrating before, so the image can model you. So cool. So cool. I'm so excited, guys. Really, really, really. I feel so much this building up, this building of energy, how much we are aligning, how much like it clicks, yeah, there are some things that it just clicks to you and you're like, ooh, that felt so good. And that's already a shift, that's already a transformation. And this is how it happens, that you repeat, insist, then you forget, then you remember, you forget, and all of a sudden it becomes normal. And then it becomes normal, it's normal. So you forget about this. That's how you know it's done, because it just goes away. And then you forget, and then boom, reality reflects it back to you, and then becomes your manifested reality. And then guess what? It's going to feel like normal. So we believe, oh, it's going to be so exciting. I saw this, I saw that. And no, because you practiced it. So it's going to be like, of course I won. Like, it's not a big thing. I know. I knew it.
Can I share a quick story of something that happened to us?
Yes.
Okay, the 10th of January, after all the Christmas hustle, we said, oh, well, we would love to rent out part of our office and have somebody there, something like a co-worker, but who does his own thing. But we don't want people coming in and out. Shall we put an ad? No, that doesn't feel like. It would be nice to have a person who just rents out a part of the office, comes in, pays his monthly rent, has all the facilities, we give the service, and that would be so amazing. So okay, we just stick to this, and then we thought of, okay, well, we should put the word out there. No, it doesn't feel like. Perhaps we should put an ad. No, perhaps we should write people about it. No. So we just feel, no, this is not the right thing to do. So we just left it there. 3 days ago, we were in a Zoom call. A lady walked in and she said, I'm looking for a place to rent around here. Can you believe that? She's an English teacher. She wants something, she wants a space to have, and because she's teaching face to face, and she wants a space, and she wants this in the area we have our office, and she doesn't want to go anywhere else, and there's nothing she can rent. And so we just looked to her and said, yeah, sure, we have a place for you.
So amazing. And this is how everything works. I love it. I love your success story. And I remember that when I was there, you were saying about the renting. And I even said, that's an amazing, idea to do and have some extra income. So I'm glad that, of course, everything comes out of nowhere. Now, you just need to learn to level this up, to level it up, to say, whoa, okay, that was fun. What can how can I go next level? Like, what is the next thing that we can do, which still feels easy? Because that's how you start be more and more confident, that you start having success stories. And it's like, okay, what's the next thing that we can just do the same way? We imagine it, we want it, we feel it, this is so exciting, and then we let it go, and then we just feel into what action we need to take. This exact way you just said. Should I, no. Like you feel like you want to take action, but none of the actions feels right. So then you step back. And this is what we talked about. Sometimes you get inspired to do a certain things, and sometimes you don't have to do anything. But when you need to do something, you will know, because you get so inspired that you cannot ignore it.
Yeah, this was the perfect example. I mean, this was really so clear because we really said, no, it doesn't really feel right. So we always kept leaving it, and sometimes we thought, we should do something about it. No, it just feel good, it doesn't feel good to push. And then we sort of put it aside and thought like, okay, well, something will come up. And then
But
boom,
I love it because you even said of like a few weeks ago, maybe couple just, or maybe last week, you said, maybe I remember something like you affirming related to your business when we were doing the Calego. You said something like everything comes to our step or something like that.
um, no, I said everybody's working for us or everybody's helping us or supporting us. Yeah.
Also,
Things
but
come.
I remember something which is now very true, that it's coming to our step. Like how amazing and how powerful this is. Basically, literally, it happened that she walked in. So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything. You're just are. You are, you assumed, you felt it, and then you allow it to come to you. So she walked in, walked in. So everything just walks in like that. So you might want to use this because you already have the experience to use it like everything we desire just walks in. Like
Mhm.
walks through our steps, so the walk
Runs around
walks through
walk
our door.
around the door. Yeah,
Everything we desire
absolutely.
just walks in.
It was so funny. I mean, we just looked at each other. We said, that can't be happening, right?
Yeah, it's your creation. So go, play. Go, everyone, play. And I'm excited to hear you next week. What have you created? And yeah, wish you a lot of fun with that. So
Bye,
awesome.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.